Welcome to another episode of Quick Fix, where I, Drew Schulman, invite a guest onto the show to pitch a quick fanfic episode of Supernatural based on a monster of the week of my guest's choosing. And today, I am graced by the amazing Jason Wynn, co-host and team captain from Gateleapers, and the owner and operator of the Studio Munchies food truck in Colorado. I recommend you follow them. Links will be in all this afterwards, because if I can't eat their food, you should for me.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to try your cooking. I'm so genuinely
Oh
looking
man,
forward to it when I eventually get to eat your food.
it's my love language. So anytime at all, I'll ship you food. I don't care.
If you can find a way to do it affordably, I will gladly do it.
We
I
gotta get through
am.
customs.
We'll find a way. We'll smuggle it.
Yeah.
I, my airport literally has live lobsters in the duty free shop. You can literally go through customs, buy a live lobster, and then board your flight. Okay.
I mean, that's what we're gonna do when we visit you. So
We'll
thanks for
definitely do
letting me
some
know that.
lobster. We'll pick some up and I'll make some stuff for you. I do a pretty good lobster roll. I've learned.
Nice, nice.
But all that aside, welcome to my little quick fix. I am very proud to say that I've now officially completed my collection. I feel like a Pokemon trainer. I've caught all three the legendary trio. All three Gateleapers have now recorded with me.
Oh yeah, man, you got the short star. You got the wild card of the Gateleapers crew. So watch out.
Wondering if the three of you are the legendary birds, which one are you?
Oh, I'm Moltres. I'm just a
Yeah,
just a
that-
hot chicken. You know.
that's what I was gonna go. I was gonna say Zapdos is my personal favorite, but I definitely see you as the
Okay.
spicy chicken type. Okay, so in bringing you on, I'm very curious to know in the potential episode of Sam and Dean Winchester facing off against something.
Yes.
What have you brought me today? I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like in the Gateleapers fashion, I brought options for sure. I mean, I have a personal favorite, but I brought options. So pick number one, a big favorite of mine. We've got two brothers, and those who've listened to the Gateleaper show know my branding is food and it's Asian. So I chose Fujin and Raijin, who are the Japanese deities, brothers. God of storm, god of wind. It's very cool. I like that. I brought also the Jung Tea because I think that's a very weird piece of
Hmm.
media that's out there. It's the hopping Chinese vampire who's always dressed in like Qin Dynasty clothing. And
Okay,
it's
yeah,
blue.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I've seen them like in media before. Like I know what you're referring to. I've
yeah,
definitely seen them referenced.
yeah, exactly. There's definitely vampires in Supernatural, and I just think particular flavor, maybe comedic as well. And then just for you, Drew, I was like, let's do. I think I've got Power Rangers on the brain, man. Just just not just the Power Rangers. I wasn't just gonna be boring. But like specifically the Boom Studios Power Ranger Teenage Ninja Turtles crossover, where the Power Rangers become Dino Mutants,
Oh my
and that's
god.
very cool.
And you know what, like given the president of the show, like I know I have not seen it yet. I know it exists. There is a Scooby Doo crossover where they legitimately end up in an animated episode of Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
I would not put it past them, like doing. I feel like the Ninja Turtles weirdly would really work with the Supernatural universe.
yeah.
Like
Oh, oh,
I see Dean sitting down with the pizza.
Dean sitting there with pizza. Sam trying to shoot salt at the turtles and nothing's happening.
Freaked out. I feel
100%.
I feel like there'd be a weird thing where like Sam is super not okay with rats, so he's like like Splinter super freaks him out, and he's like weirdly okay with everything else, but like rats is what his like draws his line at is a weird fear.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely a
it's actually
phobia.
really funny. When I invited you onto the show, I had just watched a YouTube series I really enjoy that does like a retrospective on the history of Power Rangers.
Ooh.
So I like weirdly had Lord Zed on my mind too. So like there was a part of me that
Oh,
was like Lord Zed would be a really fun villain for them.
yeah, it would be.
Um,
It would be. But I mean,
but I do.
I'm gonna
So who were the first two again? Remind me the names. I
uh,
feel like you said them as
Raijin and
original.
Fujin.
Raijin and Fusion. I
Yeah,
like the idea that you have two brothers as deities that have a little more cultural history. I'm also kind of leaning on them. I really want to know more
yeah.
about them.
They're also the only ones I have notes on, so thank you. I'd love to.
Peek
I'd love
behind the
to
curtain,
choose
everyone.
those. Yeah,
So do tell me. So do with those notes of yours, tell me who are they? What
yeah.
are they? What is their story?
Yeah, they're a very interesting piece of media that have trickled into certain things I've read. I think maybe their most famous thing in nerd culture is like a Hellboy comic. But essentially, what Raijin and Fujin are, they're and Raiden and Fujin are characters in Mortal Kombat, so they've appeared in other media.
Okay,
But
it makes sense that
mhm,
it was sounding more familiar, and I was like trying to be like trying to draw the dots. Like, why do I know those
yes,
names?
yeah, and if listeners out there know of other examples, please give them because I love these guys. But essentially, they're two deities in Japanese culture who are siblings. Most of the Japanese deities I found are actually siblings, but these two are paired
Hmm.
together because in several Shinto temples in Japan, they are shown as guardians of the gate. So I thought that imagery was really good. The other thing about it is that so Raijin, he's the god of lightning, thunder, and storms. He's known to be the mischievous type, and he's so mischievous that apparently Japanese parents tell their kids to hide their belly buttons away during thunderstorms, or else Raijin will eat them. So I think like
Wait, eat the child or just the belly button?
it was not explained to me in these several things and notes that I looked at. That was not iterated to me, but I like the idea that like because classic season one, season two of Supernatural, it was quite gory in those days from memory. It was quite like dark, and there was a lot of murder
Hmm.
happening. And I do like the idea that if someone shows their belly button, they're the ones being targeted in this serial killer fashion. Um, the accoutrement that Raijin and Fujin often have. Raijin has these 10 drums that usually circle around him. He's usually shown holding a wooden hammer, as the beating of the drums replicates the sound of thunder. So, you as
Ooh.
a Pokemon fan, Thundurus,
I was gonna say
Landorus,
Thunderous, Landorus, and Tornadus. We're definitely
yeah,
looking at them.
are based on Raijin. Yeah, because he also sits on a cloud. Um, Fujin, the god of wind, less info about him, but he does carry a big old sack of wind on his around him. So like I do like the idea if we're gonna pair them in a very like supernatural way, looking at the dynamic between these two brothers. I like that if each of these guys had distinct personalities, because there's not a lot of info about them out there. But Sam, you could kind of say is kind of a windbag, you know? You could describe-
I was gonna say, I think you can do it with either one of them, but yeah, I think Sam
yeah.
being kind of like just information, like info dump, and then Dean's
Mhm.
kind of like I think like thunder and anger kind of go together.
Yeah. Mischievous type, yeah.
Ooh.
Almost like a Thor type of archetype coming out of him.
I can really see it too being kind of like so usually my next question is like which of the brothers would kind of be like the main target or the main lead. But I
Mhm.
kind of like the idea that like they're almost being played against each other by these two gods.
Yeah. And it's
Oh.
almost I also think of it almost like in a classic like brother episode. It's almost like they're also playing the two Japanese deity brothers against themselves. Where like they pair off, maybe Fujin's with Sam, maybe Raijin's with Dean. But then like Dean's just asking questions, just like, "What's your relationship with your brother?" And I think Sammy's a real windbag, all this other stuff. But then, maybe Raijin's saying like, "No, I trust my brother. I don't know what you're talking about, but he can be a little bit, like I could see this type of
Oh.
dialogue happening where it's the two brothers pair off with the other pair and go, you know what? You kind of suck, Dean. I kind of like Fujin. I kind of like rolling with this guy. He
I can
does it by
see
the book.
I can kind of see like that almost like buddy cop where each of them go off on their own with like,
Hmm.
you know what, like this has been a nice break and like almost that level of like by the end they realize like, oh, being with someone who's so much like me, I need someone different and like
Yeah.
using what they've learned about the other gods to kind of like I guess like cheat them back like a weird couples therapy thing where they remind them why they're so good together.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, because in a 20-minute episode, right? Because that's what we're forming here. You
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
come back to the idea of, oh, I love Fujin, but there's something wrong with him. Probably mainly the thing that he eats humans who has their belly buttons out, or whatever it is, or he's eating belly buttons. Probably a weird thing. Don't want to hang out with
Either
someone
way,
who eats
weird.
belly buttons. Yeah, because it's
Uh,
always got to have a conclusion at the end. And I like the idea that brothers maybe get stronger. The Winchesters, I should say, get stronger
yeah,
in
true.
their relationship. Yeah, after this. I'm also a big fan of like when you're watching a thing and then there's the dark reflection of something you're
Mm-hmm.
used to. I'm going to use this terrible example, but Fast and Furious, I think 6 is one of my favorites because in that one, it's like
Remind
it's
me.
the family.
they've
Yeah,
all
it's
blurred together after like 3. Remind me what happens in
yep.
6 or who's in it.
Yeah, that's why I said I think it's 6. I think 6 is the one with Luke Evans, and it's like from the family, but he's the British family. It's the Asian guy, but he's a British Asian guy. That's what's going on
Okay,
here.
yes, that one. Okay, I do. Wow, I recall a British Asian guy. Could not tell you anything beyond that though. I've really got to rewatch those movies
It's
one
fair.
day.
That's okay. He's the dark version of Han. We don't need to remember him.
Oh, Han
And
was
I
great.
like,
I remember Tokyo Drift. That was a good one.
yeah, exactly. So I'd like if we were to even cast them true, I'd like them to be like the poor man's Jared Padalecki, the poor man's. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Like
I
the
really. Oh god.
CW light version of this guy, the dupe, as the young people say.
Oh my god, I love that because I usually do ask about like a cameo or who you put in the episode, and I was trying to think of
Yeah.
like who were like a fun pair of like actors you could put together that could do this. But I think it's almost funnier to get like two guys who are like, I don't think there's anyone on top of my mind who like comes to mind as like, oh, he is very much the knockoff Jared or the knockoff Jensen. But like, I'm sure there is like a cultural selection. Like, oh, it's got to be X and Y.
Yeah. Listeners, put in your votes. I've been having
Also, I'll be
Alan.
honest, just Scott Pilgrim on the Mind from recent Gateleapers
Ooh.
recording, the Katyanagi twins just being these two handsome guys.
Oh, that would be great. And they're
Maybe they've
twins?
learned English by now.
Yeah, right. In this fan fiction, anything's possible. I think that's
Exactly.
really
We
great.
can break the rules.
Yeah. Or just make them super hot. What if it's like just Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth? Just two Chris's.
I was
Hollywood
also gonna say
Chris's.
or just even like or to get two of the Hemsworth brothers even.
Yeah.
Or
Not
no,
Luke.
you
God, please, no, not
Oh
Luke.
no. What you have to do is you get two of the brothers, but not Chris Hemsworth, just for the irony of he's already played a thunder themed god. You don't need, let his brothers
see.
be storm themed gods now.
Okay, so we get Liam and we get Luke. Yeah.
Oh my god, that is
absolutely.
also really funny.
Yeah, we have to put Luke, the shorter, less known one, with
with
He's
no,
slightly shorter.
No, you gotta put him with Jared just for the height
No,
difference.
Jared.
Just having this like 7-foot tall beast of a man with this little shrimp.
Oh, we haven't talked about the episode structure at all. This is just us
that's
ragging
okay.
on
This is half how these shows go. Okay, so we've got these two gods. Obviously, shit's going down in town, so the brothers are like, it's weird. There's literally been a thunderstorm in insert town here for the last like 13 weeks. They have had no sun. There's been nonstop wind and thunder, and like some children have gone missing, and like somehow they tie the thought together that every one of these kids was outside in a storm with their belly button exposed somehow. Like, oh, they were all wearing like halter tops or were like shirtless for some reason. Like, there's a weird like I don't know how the hell you make that connection, but like. Somehow
teenagers
they
that
get
go
that.
missing at an Abercrombie store. You're telling me all your crop top, all your crop tops went missing.
only kids who wore crop tops went missing. Yes, canonical. This is happening.
Oh my god, we landed in crop top USA and half their population is missing.
Oh, there's like a model convention that week, so like the disappearances of Spite for some reason.
Beach volleyball's been canceled, gang.
Beach volleyball's been canceled.
Regular volleyball's going strong for some reason.
Oh, and the episode definitely ends for whatever reason with a like 2v2 beach volleyball game with the four of them.
Oh my god, Fuchin and Rajan. Jetson and Jared. Poor little Luke Hemsworth, he can't get over the net. Oh no.
Oh, and it's finally in that game where they're like reunited for the first time in like a week after like splitting up.
Right.
That they realize like, oh, working with someone who's so much like me doesn't work. I need you because of things you can do that I can't.
Yeah.
Like you set it up so I can spike it.
Oh my god! This is the most romantic thing I've ever heard in my life.
This is. Oh, we are gonna the number of people who like that weird culture that ships Sam and Dean, who I don't approve of. Oh, they're gonna have a field day with this episode. Unfortunately,
yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. It's not gonna help that we're gonna film the volleyball scene Top Gun style. Like it's gonna.
100% slow mo, like hair rock.
We get the rights. Yeah. We get the rights.
We get a cameo of Tom Cruise like as the ref for the game and his those little like beach chairs there.
Yeah. Oh no, Chris is the ref. Chris Hemsworth. That's where he comes in.
And they just don't reference it. They just like who is this guy? It's like doesn't matter. He's nobody.
5 seconds. Turn on. Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
episode just as many dumb cameos as we could fit in.
This is what you get when you get the wild card of the Gateleapers,
But
baby.
that's what these are for. These are for to be silly and fun. And I think like just like
Yeah.
regardless, like I think this is a decent idea for an episode. Like to really bring it
Thank
back.
you.
The idea of
Yeah.
like one bringing in another culture I always love. I feel like the
Mhm.
show unfortunately when it does do it, it
Yeah.
tends to either get stereotypical or like underplayed.
Mhm.
Like famously, there's an episode where they bring in like a bunch of other deities from other cultures, and
Yeah.
like the Bible's Lucifer shows up and kills them all. Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Christianity's
Yeah.
better, deal with it. Like no, that's not how this
Yeah.
works.
Also, and I did do some research to see if like this had already been done. Absolutely not, not even close,
No,
which I'm happy for. But I
well,
did
again,
see
yeah,
that the supernatural show has dipped into Japanese culture, so it's something that they
hmm
I think wanted to do, but just haven't been able to do or do well because they had Kitsune was in an
yeah,
episode, and apparently in tie-in novels they had Onis, which are
mm.
generic ogres slash
Yeah, yeah,
demons. So they definitely wanted to do something like
yeah.
this,
And we
but I
just
think
recently did an episode end of this season with a shoujo,
mhm.
the liquor demon.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha,
Which is like
gotcha.
the weird thing where it's one of the few that I actually knew because like I
Uh-huh.
just weird like connection of like being a Pokemon fan. I have like ended up reading about a lot of the Japanese myths that some of them are based off
Ah,
of.
very
So
cool.
like there's a
Yeah.
lot of those like what is the word for like the Japanese spirits they use?
Yokai?
Yokai. Thank you. Like so
Mhm.
I know a lot of the yokai stories, so I know the shoujo is like a yokai.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so like, but
No
that's like I think this is such a like and double edged sword here.
mhm,
The supernatural is such a great platform to
mhm.
let us dive into other mythologies. The
Yeah,
downside is that they were very much a show that had a focus, so they didn't really have the heart for it sometimes, which
yeah.
meant that when they did do it, it was oftentimes not seen with the best of respect or the most knowledge or
Right.
like done right.
Mhm,
So like there's the blessing of they haven't done this because they would have likely fucked something up.
mhm.
But then on the
Right.
other side, it's like I wish the show were to continue or relaunch one day
Yeah.
because with a good team of writers and like actually doing their research, I think we can get some really cool creatures and mythologies and myths.
100%. No, that was one of the things that really stuck with me, for listeners who don't know much about me or listen to the Gateleapers Supernatural episode. I am a legitimate fan of Supernatural. I think I watched more seasons than I care to admit. Uh,
You're ahead
and
of me. I mean, I've only seen 7 at this point. We just
yeah,
finished.
I think I got to season 10. So I was in it. I was a supernatural guy, for sure. And I really found that there was a charm to the idea of having two brothers in a buddy cop situation, having a monster of the week and learning things. Cause like even though they don't fully go for it on a CW budget, on a monster of the week situation,
Yeah.
there are interesting and memorable moments of like the Jin, they did their own mythos for vampires and stuff like that, and I could see Raijin and Fujin doing well with a CW budget. Like it doesn't have to be these spectacular, fantastical situations. I kind of
Mhm.
like the idea of these two individuals within a Winchester reality. Again, like jokes is all aside, and Hemsworth jokes aside, I do think that a casting of like people who emulate a darker version or a dupe version of the Winchester brothers and having them walk around, I'm like, I could see cheesy like CW stuff happening. Like every time Fujin walks through a door, there's some wind that
Yeah. Like
effectively runs his long hair for some reason or another.
yes.
You know, but like it's the kind of stuff that I loved. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love the salt rings. I love the machetes and the salt rounds and shotguns. Like I think this works within the context of the reality that they've made and the aesthetic that they've done.
Yeah, like this show has done a really good job, and I complimented it a lot this last season, specifically the episode
Mm,
that I always for the title of Plucky's something something something
mhm.
Plucky's, but it's where Sam kind of deals with his fear of clowns. So
Oh,
like
okay.
he has to actually end up fighting two supernatural clowns that are like unbeatable and like inhumane, and
Yeah.
like it's a ridiculous, silly episode that
Yeah.
still leads to a lot of like emotional growth and understanding for both of them. So
Yeah.
to have like these two characters come in who like because they're gods and they are a little pompous, like I like the
Mhm.
idea that no matter where
Exactly.
he is, there's always a breeze, his hair is always blowing, and like you've got whether it be Sam or Dean with him kind of like
Yeah.
like always like something's blowing into his face and he's like trying to like bat away like a paper that blew into it or something, or like things are being knocked over and he doesn't care because he's looking good.
Right. Right.
And then like the idea that like again, if I'm mixing up which ones which, I apologize, but like,
Mhm.
having like every time he has like a good remark or a witty comment, like lightning
Yeah.
strikes in the background and the thunder
Yeah.
echoes and like just to
Yeah.
punctuate everything, and Dean just being like, hey, we get it, you don't have to do it
Yeah.
every
No, I
time.
love or he's super into it because Dean is that guy.
Oh,
Dean is
that's it. But
he's
Dean would
either
be super into it, and then would
yeah,
very slowly kind of get to be like, okay, I get it. You've made the joke once, it's enough. You don't have
yeah,
to do it every time.
yeah. I
Like
was
that
super
wasn't
on
even
board.
funny that time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I love the cheesiness. I love the
Yeah,
grittiness, the absolute juxtaposition of the both, and I think that's why I wanted to choose this idea because that's always been the draw for Supernatural to me is the juxtaposition of the two brothers and the relationship of the two brothers. One of the smartest things the show has ever done is relate them to Cain and Abel. If you're gonna do Christian mythology, having them be represented by Cain and Abel or like what are they? Are they like the embodiment of Cain and Abel? I don't remember.
I I
Uh
know I know it comes up later in the series. We haven't gotten there yet, but I know it's a
oh
thing that
really?
happens. Like I know the Cain and Abel metaphor is a big one with them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but like I know like a lot of it too is just being like, Sam is the vessel for Lucifer allegedly, and Dean
Right.
is the sword of the angels. Like
Who are two
just
brothers.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they've done really good at like building this mythos and setting up these like incredibly high stakes and like massive appeal moments,
Mhm.
that like the rare time they're able to turn away from that and things are, even if they're not like silly, they're just like lower stakes.
Yeah.
It makes for some really good time for them to grow and evolve and learn from each other. So like putting
Yeah.
them in this scenario with these like bombastic characters that are like satirical versions of them almost, letting
Yeah.
them be like the straight
Yeah.
man for the
Yeah.
majority of it,
Yeah.
like it helps build them. We get to see them put up with stuff. Like I picturing again, there is an episode where some kid possesses Sam to like try to like, whatever, like he possesses him and like switches bodies with
Mhm.
him. And
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dean is hanging out with like possessed Sam, and like he's like, yeah, let's have some drinks, and like, yeah, I'm gonna go hook up with that chick, and like I'm totally gonna eat like a big juicy burger. And it's like, this is amazing, like you're being
Uh-huh.
more of what I want in a brother.
Yeah.
And then like us as an observer, it's like, how do you not realize something's wrong? And it's like, because
Yeah.
sometimes when like someone just like gives into all these things you've been asking them to do, you're just like, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. This is a good thing. And
Mhm.
it takes time to realize, like, oh, something's up.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's it's I know I chose this. I know this is biased, but I love this episode.
And that's the end of
I'd
it. The
watch the heck
goal of
out of
this is
this.
like, these are episodes like one that I hope you want to watch, but also like
Mhm.
I not even like you've convinced me to want to watch this. It's like legit like
Right.
like I think almost every quick fic we've done, I've been like, I really wish this were an episode I can go watch. And if I were a little more creative and had the effort, if I had the time and the resources, I would almost want to
Yeah.
write this episode spec out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think this one is like one of the top ones in a while. Where I've liked a lot of the ones we've done. There's a lot that
Ooh,
I still like to see, but
of
like
course.
the comedy, which is much more my writing style, this
Yeah.
just feels like I'm not surprised. This is the one that I connect with the most in the last little while. Like I've had a lot of fun. There's no picking winners. Like everyone's had a great idea, and I've loved every single one. And I would kill for any episode to be remade.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the one where it's like, I think I could write this one if I really wanted
Heck yeah. Oh, dude, well, we could combine it if we ever had the time. I'd definitely do fan
to.
art of just like of the dupe version of Sam and
Yes.
Dean. I'd have a ball with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'd have like some of like those great one-liner moments. We'd have some of those weird interactions where like the two of them end up finding the supernatural books one day, and
Mm,
like Sam comes back being like, okay, I got us some food. I know what we're doing next. I've located the next XYZ. And he's
mm.
just like sitting there in the motel room, like leafing through a copy of the supernatural book, being like, you just drink demon blood, dude? That's like badass. And he's like, oh god, no.
Yeah.
Oh, or like find like just like the shenanigans. Like
The
I picture like
shenanigans.
like I almost mystery spot, the one where Dean keeps dying and Sam keeps waking up to Dean, and every time Dean
Oh yeah,
dies,
yeah, yeah.
like almost a montage scene of the two of them, like
Yes.
starting off super exhilarated to be doing something new with someone who's more like them, and then like
Yeah.
slowly but surely, like each cut, you're kind of like, oh, he like they're getting demystified and like they're falling out of love with the scenario, and they're realizing like, yeah, this guy's a little much. Fuck. And then like finally like the montage ends and it's the two, like the split screen almost of the two of them getting to their individual motel rooms and sitting down and just being like, I can't, like in unison.
Yeah, right. You just
Oh,
yeah, Dean's just like super chill and just like love and hanging out with Rajan. And he's like, "Oh my god, you just get it like Sammy doesn't." And then there's just a cut to where it's like, "Why are you looking at a girl with a crop top so much? That's kind of weird, man. Let's chill out.
like I
I
know
got
she's good looking, but like a little young for you.
you got a real thing for midriff, dude. Like that's kind of I'm not here to kink shame, but like maybe I shouldn't hang out with you as much. That's a red
Oh god.
flag."
Oh my god, this is such a brilliant concept. Oh, I'll be so honest, this is not the direction I thought this would go, like, given, like, the more serious nature of, like, oh, these, like, deities and, like, Asian culture, and I'm
Yeah.
like, again, anything can be done comedy if done right, but, like, I
Right.
kind of
Right.
expected, like, what kind of, like, weird myth are we gonna deal with, and, like, how are they gonna beat them, and it's like, no, they team up, it's a buddy cop thing, they
Yeah.
get tired of them, they, like, work together to reunite the two of them in a volleyball match, like, oh. I should have expected it to go zanier, but like this was
I
like this
yeah.
is like what I could have hoped for. Like this is a beyond what I could have hoped for. I'm so happy with this episode.
I'll be honest with you, when I like sat down and wrote down notes and was like, okay, let me get, yeah, I want to look good. I don't want to be set up Drew's show and all that stuff. I thought this was going to be serious, but I'm glad I'm happy. I'm just here for the ride. I'm glad
That's it.
with
Like
the end
these
product we come out with.
these quick fix are great because they really get to go both ways. Of like it can either be the zaniest shit,
Yeah.
or it could be like super like chill and like serious. Like I feel like compare because these are going to come out like a day or two apart. Your episode, and Matt's
Okay.
episode, and like
Nice.
Matt's is like we have a few good laughs, but like it's a really
Yeah.
like psychological deep dive into like our like
Oh.
brains. And then this
Yeah.
is
Oh
like,
wow.
what is the best comedy fanfic we could write? And like it is the two sides of this show, and I'm so proud that I was able to bring this little segment to life within my podcast.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Thank you so much for bringing me over. I did get to listen to Audra's episode where she called me the wild card of Gateleapers, and I went,
Yup. I
you
re-listened to it too
know,
just to remember.
I don't know if I agree with that branding. But no, she's got it.
Yeah, no.
Spot on.
Yeah, she nailed you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If anyone was expecting me to just write the Chin Westers, a supernatural story, here it is.
Shin Westers. If I like you said it, and my first thought was like, I realize now you just switched the W and the CH sound. But I
Yeah.
thought you were doing like an Asianified version of their names with like Chin. And I was like, really? I didn't expect you to go that like Asian on me, but like okay. And I'm gonna end it there before we say anything I shouldn't say. Jason, my good man, thank you for coming on. I know I
Yeah,
mentioned at
man.
the top of the show, but do you have anything you want to plug specifically? And reminders, everything will be in the comments or in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
description.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Please listen to Drew's many episodes on Gateleapers, but specifically Supernatural. Since you're here, you can listen to me and all the other shenanigans I get into at Gateleapers everywhere you can find podcasts. And then, if you don't mind, you can also follow my food truck at Studio Munchie. That's MUNCHIE on either Facebook or Instagram. You probably can't eat the food unless you're in Colorado, but I do post yummy food, and it's nice to grow that. It's hard
It
being
does look
an
so good.
entrepreneur.
The art that associates this account is amazing.
Thank
I've
you.
drooled over drawings of sandwiches. Like that is a problem. I'm
It's
not
our
wearing my
goal.
shirt today, but I do have a Studio Munchie shirt. I wear it when I go play Magic to like advertise, even though we're like the opposite side of the damn continent for the most part.
I appreciate you, man. Guerrilla marketing out there for me.
And we will link all of these. If I could recommend a specific Gateleapers episode, one of my personal favorites that I wasn't on is the Transformers episode.
Oh, wonderful.
After years of fighting for it, you finally get Transformers.
Yes, sir.
Um, Also funny writing my notes today for something else show related. I had to just bring up some of my favorite quotes from the show, and at this point, people have already heard this, but one of my favorite quotes is still in the end of season 7 when they refer to Metatron and Sam confuses him for Megatron.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that is the best. Which
Well,
is
heck
also,
yeah.
I'm thinking, Megatron would make a good villain for the Winchesters.
Megatron would. You were wishing that I would bring that up.
That's like, again, I've been very open. Like, I have a wide breadth of
Mhm.
people I want to invite on the show, but I'm not
Mhm.
against like repeat visits. I know Audra had a few other ones in the bag she wanted to do. So I'm
Ooh.
definitely down for repeats. So like, if you have some ideas for how the brothers would face Megatron, hell, let me know. We'll work on it for next season.
Heck yeah, man. That's too easy. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast.
Well, thank you again so much. You've been listening to a Carrying Wayward minisode. We hope you enjoyed, and please let us know what you thought of us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever socials you choose, at Carrying Wayward. And until next time, carry on our wayward friends. I gotta rewrite that outro. I still have like Blue Sky and Hive in there, I'm pretty sure.